Following are public documents provided by the U.S. Census Bureau, which detail U.S. foreign aid in terms of economic, military, grants, and credits. Credits refer to contractual agreements in which borrowers receive something of value now and agree to repay the lender at some later date, generally with interest. So these credits we give people come with strings. Yes, strings. Grants are non-repayable funds or products to fund a specific project and require some level of compliance and reporting by the recipient. So here the strings aren't in form of money repayment, but in what these funds go to do. So here the strings are conditions, and they have to put the money to what they promise to do. So if a country says they're going to build a dam, a hospital, a school, well, that's what they better do. And if they, in terms of credits, if they claim they're going to pay, well, they better pay. If they don't comply with our strings, you know what'll happen, don't you? Well, of course you know what'll happen. We have drones and missiles. Yes, we'll bomb them. Further, the U.S. foreign aid is detailed in total amounts and by individual regions and countries. One should look at the total amount of aid and how it is distributed by region and country, and what type of aid is provided, be it economic or military. One should also wonder about how we, in certain war-torn regions of the world, give economic and military aid at the same time. Almost like we like to watch them fight over what we give them in terms of economic aid, food, and medical, and whatever. Also, in terms of corporate welfare, because this aid we give them, especially in terms of military equipment, isn't bought from ma and pa stores. These are big corporations that provide military equipment, are benefiting U.S. corporations. In other words, U.S. foreign aid is somewhat like corporate welfare. I mean, the U.S. taxpayer is paying for this U.S. foreign aid, and what we're giving these countries and regions is economic and military equipment bought from big corporations that provide same. So these are the things you should keep in mind when you look at these tabulations, and they don't come out every year. This is the most recent I could find. It seems they calculate this every 10 years. So this is the most recent U.S. foreign aid tabulations you'll find. And like I said, keep your mind on the totals and who gets what. It's quite interesting. I mean, even Russia, we gave hundreds of millions of dollars of U.S. foreign aid, be it in loan form or whatever, but they're supposedly our enemy now. It is quite striking. Just keep your eye on things and use your head. This is this is where your tax dollars go to. So let us begin with Table 1297, which states U.S. government foreign grants and credits by type and country, years 2000 to 2010. And it's in millions of dollars. But, it took me a while to find these kind of tables from the U.S. Census Bureau. There's not many that exist. In fact, this is the only one I could find, along with a few others. And it's written so small that I had to blow them up so you can get a look at them, because you'd have to be Ebenezer Scrooge to be able to read them. They were so finely printed. And right at the top, it's very strange, because it doesn't begin with a country. It begins with investment in financial institutions with no names. So right off the bat, it's very, very confusing, because in the title of this document, there's no mention of investment in financial institutions. And it lists the investments from 2000 to 2010. And I won't bore you with all the detail, but from 2000, it was $1.5 billion in financial institutions, which we don't know, to 2010, which it went to $2.3 billion. So there's a lot of money being invested into financial institutions that have no names. These are banksters, okay? And so U.S. taxpayer dollars are being invested into these institutions that have no names. Anyway, and then it just goes, it lists 7 regions of the world. It starts with Western Europe, and I won't bore you with all the details. I'm going to let you look at them. I'm going to, take my time, and if you need to pause, then by all means pause, because it is quite interesting who we've been lending money to. It goes from Western Europe to Eastern Europe. And Eastern Europe, we got Russia. Russia, our primary enemy today. In 2000, we lent them $797 million. And it's gone down to 2010 to $223 million. This is very interesting. And of course, then we go to the Near East and South Asia. And then we head into Africa. And then we head into the Far East and Pacific. Table 1297 of grants and credits by type and country ends with the Western Hemisphere, and then it mentions other international organizations. And we're talking lots of money. In 2000, we lent these other international organizations $2.8 billion. And then in 2010, we upped that to these other international organizations to $8.6 billion. That's a lot of money to unknown organizations. I don't know who they are. They don't list them. This is very ambiguous. It's a very strange document indeed. And this is the kind of tabulations we got coming out of the U.S. Census Bureau of Foreign Commerce and Aid. Very bizarre. But well, let's look at the Middle East, because that's a really hotbed today. Let's look at what we've been giving them. Well, in 2000, it was up to $4.3 billion in aid. And then in 2010, we raised the ante to $9 billion in aid. Iraq grabbing a whopping $2.9 billion, almost $3 billion, right? Israel, they grabbed $2.6 billion. Jordan got $802 million. Lebanon, $119 million. Yemen, $48 million. This is in 2010. And lastly, West Bank, Gaza Regional, $687 million. So there you have it. That's table 1297. Next, we shall go to table 1298. U.S. Foreign Economic and Military Aid Programs, 1980 to 2009. They only break down the year 2009 into the regions. From 1980 to 2008, it's just a general total of our aid. Like in 1980, we gave $9.6 billion in foreign assistance and $2.1 billion in military assistance. And in 2008, that total went to total foreign assistance of $48 billion. Actually, it's more close to $49 billion. And $16 billion in military assistance. So I mean, it just grew incredibly. In 2009, we were giving $44.9 billion in total foreign assistance, and I think of which $11 billion was military. 2009, Asia, we gave $12.3 billion in foreign assistance, of which $6.2 billion was military. Central Asia, we gave up $1.9 billion, and only $148 million was military. Eastern Europe, $498 million in total foreign assistance, of which $87 million was military. We like to give guns and butter. You know, like I said, we butter them up with the food and give them enough bullets to kill each other for the butter. Latin America and Caribbean, we gave $3 billion, and we also threw in $127 million in military. The Middle East and North Africa, this is the one you want to look at. $9.4 billion in total foreign assistance, of which $4 billion was military. There's a good one. Yes, let's go to the most the most disturbed regions of the world in terms of war and hunger, and give them assistance, half of which is military. That's a great idea. In Oceania, those are the South Pacific islands near Australia, the Solomons, the Philippines, etc. We gave them $222 million in total aid and $1 million in military. Take it easy, don't kill each other. Sub-Saharan Africa, $10 billion in total foreign assistance. Thank God. And we also threw in $260 million in military aid. I'm not sure why, because when people are hungry, they do crazy things. Western Europe, we gave them $97 million in total assistance and $5 million in military aid. And then Canada, our brothers upstairs, we gave them $26 million in foreign assistance and nothing in military aid. And the world, not specified. Now that's an interesting entry. The world, not specified, we gave $7.3 billion. And we broke it down to $118 million in military aid. These documents are very strange indeed. It's just, there's something fundamentally wrong in the tabulations there. Here is the last chart, table 1299. U.S. foreign economic and military aid by major recipient country, 2001 to 2009. It begins with totals. And I won't bore you, but I shall recite. In 2001, we gave a total of $16.8 billion in foreign economic and military aid. In 2005, we jumped it up to $37.1 billion. And then in 2007, it went up to $40.8 billion in military aid and economic aid. And then in 2008, it rose again to $48.9 billion. And they only break up 2009. This is why it's kind of a strange document. It's missing years, and then in 2009 they want to break it up between economic and military aid. And the total was in 2009 $44.9 billion total. And they said in economic aid it amounted to $33.9 billion. This is worldwide. $33.9 billion in economic aid and $11 billion in military aid. That's a lot of military equipment. That's a lot of military equipment. $11 billion. And then it goes into the countries from A to Z, from Afghanistan to Zimbabwe. And I want to first go to Russia, because Russia's on this list. In 2001, we gave Russia, our arch enemy, $541 million in economic and military aid. It's not broken down. We don't know what kind of aid we gave them. They don't break it down for that year. And in 2005, Russia received $1.5 billion in aid. Again, it's not broken down. In 2007, Russia again received another 1.5, it's closer to $1.6 billion in aid. And in 2008, Mother Russia received $1.2 billion in aid, not broken down. And then in 2009, where they break it down, we gave them $479 million in total aid, of which $396 million was economic aid, and we threw in $83 million in military aid. Military aid to our arch enemy in 2009. What's going on? 8 years later, we're calling them all kinds of names. It's amazing to me. What's going on? Who's running this scheme? But anyway, this table is very Interesting. Afghanistan. Let's just stick to 2009 where they break it down. In 2009, Afghanistan received a total of $8.7 billion. $3 billion was in economic aid and $5.7 billion was in military. That's a lot of guns and bullets. That's a lot. I'm just going to go to the big ones. Egypt. 2009, we gave them $1.7 billion in total aid. $483 million was in economic, and $1.3 billion in military. Wow. They need more guns and bullets than, and now we'll go to the next big one, which is Iraq. 2009, we gave Iraq $2.2 billion in total aid. 2.2 was economic aid. And we only gave them $3 million in military aid. Well, I guess we had enough forces there. We didn't need to give them too much more. And then we go to Israel. In 2009, we gave them $2.4 billion in total aid. Only $52 million in economic aid. And then we gave them a whopping $2.3 billion in military aid. That's wonderful. And as I go down this list, I guess the next biggest one would be Pakistan. In 2009, we gave them $1.7 billion in total economic and military aid, and we'll break it down to $1.3 billion in economic aid, and we decided to give the Pakistanis $429 million in military aid. I guess that was to fight the Taliban. Yes. We can't kill enough of them. We just got to keep killing and killing and killing. We'll kill everything. Damn it, we got to kill everything. And that's about all I can say on this list. I'll slow it down so you can take a good look at it. I'm going to slow this down, and don't be afraid to pause it. You'll glean some things that I don't glean. But it is a bizarre kind of tabulation by the U.S. Census Bureau, a statistical abstract of the United States in 2012. And there's not another one out there. This is the most recent. So I guess the next one will come in 2020. And it'll have a 10-year review again. And there will be years missing and lots of stuff missing. Names missing. But you get the idea. There's, I think there's 69 names on this $12.99 table. You can look at them all. We gave Haiti in 2009, the poor Haitians. We only gave them $369 million. $366 million was in economic aid, and we decided to arm the Haitians with a $3 million gift. That's very bizarre. I'm just confused by all this. It's quite bizarre. We're giving aid. I don't know who picks and chooses all this. It's beyond my scope, okay? But you get the idea, and enjoy the lists. I slowed it down for you. If you need to slow it down more, just pause it. Keep it in full screen mode. And thank you. And this is brokkenstar. Please subscribe and like. Be nice of you. And I'll try to get you some more information on worldly affairs. Thank you very much. Have a nice evening.